Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanjay Mungur. I am the founder and CEO of FinClub. I take obviously the opportunity to welcome you all for this webinar, which is about peer-to-peer lending and how we are going to unlock smiles using peer-to-peer lending. So again, thank you for joining our webinar. We probably should wait for a couple of minutes. We may have a few people joining, but in the meantime, just give me a few minutes to make sure that everything is set up as per our requirement. Voila. So we are set. Can my colleague confirm that we are live properly and everything is for the sound and video are correct? Excellent. So again, let me reintroduce myself. I am Sanjay Mungur. I am the founder and CEO of FinClub. And today we are exploring alternative investment and credit facilities through FinClub peer-to-peer lending platform. So welcome again. Feel free to ask questions, whether directly through the platform or through the WhatsApp number that we are going to share in a few minutes. So, what are we going to talk about today? Basically, on our agenda, there will be 4 different sections. One is how to borrow with FinClub. Second, what it means and how you can optimize your investment as a lender on FinClub platform. Third, how you can maximize your investment as well as make sure that you are protecting your investment. And finally, for the last, hopefully 15 minutes or so, we'll leave some time for question and answers. So let's start. Well, let's start really by a very basic and simple question. What if you urgently need 20,000 rupees, let's say in a few days? Obviously, you can rely on family and friends, but assume that you do not have that possibility, and assume also that you cannot rely on, you don't have money in the bank account as well. So it becomes a challenge, okay? Especially if you need that. Because today, very few financial institutions lend less than 100,000 rupees, actually even lesser. You know, there are just a few that lend, even go a little bit down, lower to 50,000 rupees. But when you're looking at sums below 15,000 rupees, I'm not talking about advances or leasing, I'm talking about money. The options are really very limited. You may have just a few handful of financial institutions that are able or available to lend you money. Even if you are able to get that loan of, let's say, 20,000 rupees, the interest rates are quite high. The interest rate quite high, between 12 to 18%. If you go through an overdraft facility, that can be between 12 to 16%. And obviously, if you're talking about leasing, we all know leasing, depending on the amount, depending where you are taking it and the purpose of that lease, it can vary between 12.5% to 18%. Not to say, if you borrow money on credit card, there you are paying interest of about 2% per month. Once compounded, you're talking something like 27% per annum. And obviously, it's a lengthy procedure. You need physical, several visits to your financial institution, physical visits, I mean. You need to have all your original document with you. And that's explained why today the average Mauritian, who earns about 35,000 rupees annually per month, is having either limited access to finance or is becoming invisible on to have access to finance, mainly because of limited repayment history. But then if you look at the other hand, on the other side, if you do have 20,000 rupees and you would like to invest that money, what are the options available to you? Now, for 20,000 going through stock exchange, the options are quite limited. You obviously cannot invest in properties, for example. Crypto assets, there's a high degree of vulnerability. Sometimes Bitcoin is $65,000, and I think now it's about $35,000. The viable option is put your money in a bank. And if you put it on a saving account, we know that yesterday the Bank of Mauritius has increased the repo rate. But still, if you are looking at your return on a saving account, it's about 0.5%. Now, obviously, you can get a little bit more. I don't really know what's the options available for 20,000 rupees, but imagine you have 100,000, 500,000, or maybe 1 million rupees, and you want to put it on a fixed deposit, which can vary between anything 1 year to 5 years, then obviously you can get a higher interest rate. And the interest rate obviously can go up to about 2.5, 3, or even 4%. The difficulty is your money is tied up for that duration. So for a 5-year fixed deposit, your money is tied up for 5 years. You get your capital and interest after that 5 years, bearing in mind, obviously, that interest rate. I think yesterday the Bank of Mauritius said that the estimated inflation would be about 10.8%. So basically, even if you are getting 3% through a fixed deposit account, 10 minus 3%, what is actually happening is the purchasing power of your money is decreasing, is depreciating by about 7% annually. So you obviously can see the limitation and the difficulty that the people who are investing obviously have. So how FinClub obviously fit in this schema? As I mentioned initially, we are a peer-to-peer lending platform. We allow creditworthy. So the platform is based on the concept of allowing creditworthy borrowers seeking competitive personal loan directly, so connecting them directly with lenders looking to earn higher returns on the investment. At the moment, the FinClub platform is able to cater for individual and group lenders, and the borrowers can also be either individual or joint, for example, 2 persons applying for a loan. So joint loan. Very soon, we will start having corporate lenders as well as SME who will be able to borrow money through the platform. Now, talking about FinClub, we are a registered company, so we were incorporated in 2018. Initially, we had a regulatory sandbox license that we obtained from the Economic Development Board, EDB, but as from February of last year, 19th February of last year to be more precise, we became the first peer-to-peer platform to obtain a license from the Financial Services Commission. And through that license, we are able to operate the process of peer-to-peer lending. Obviously, we also registered with the data protection because we view data, the protection of personal and financial data of our compatriots as being critical, and therefore we also registered and follow the various data protection policies, laws, and so on, including, for example, the GDPR. Now, peer-to-peer lending is obviously new in Mauritius, has been here for a couple of years only, but the problem, and obviously it's a big advantage given that people can lend directly from lenders can lend directly to borrowers. Precisely, talking about borrowers, what peer-to-peer, what FinClub peer-to-peer lending offers to you? Well, first and foremost, it is very simplified method and it's an online method. This means that you can apply anytime, anywhere, from the comfort of your home, from your office, whilst you are in metro or anywhere you want. The interest rate definitely is very competitive based on the type of products that we are offering. You can borrow as low as 20,000 rupees, okay? And that sum can be borrowed anything from 3 months to 24 months. Okay, so it really opens up various options for many people. All our fees are advertised on the platform. There is no hidden cost. There is no early repayment, even not early repayment fees. So, for example, for borrower, you are paying interest on the amount you have borrowed. And then you have an initial processing fee. Apart from that, there is no other fees. I repeat, there is no other fees. So you can even have an early repayment and there is absolutely no charges associated. We are also, because we are online, because people can apply anytime, there are quite a lot of our processes are automated. Is the live stream still operational, Varuna? The live stream? It's okay. Okay, I have a freezed image here, but if it's operational, that's great. So, as I mentioned, we are developing a lot of our own technologies here. For example, we have developed the FinID, which is the digital identity for identifying people, but also for fraud prevention. We also developed FinScore, which is a machine learning, ML-driven credit scoring algorithm. So it's expediting the process and making sure that our underwriting process is really robust. At the moment, we have got two different product offerings. One is the consumer loan. The amount varies between 20 to 60,000 rupees. And the other one is flexi loan, the amount of which varies between 50,000 and 100,000 rupees. Obviously, we have got the possibility of reviewing these amounts. So as we proceed, definitely these amounts will be reviewed. We are lending to risk categories of A+, A, B, and C. A+ obviously being the best, the higher, the categories of loan with the less risk. This means obviously less risk, so the interest rate payable is lesser, as opposed to C, for example, where the interest rate is higher. Interest charges starts from 9.5%, and it goes to, as I mentioned to you, for borrowers, there are only two charges. One is the interest payable plus a 2% processing fee with a minimum amount of 500 rupees. For consumer loan, basically it's one-off payments. For example, if you have to pay for your tuition fee, you want to buy a TV, you want to buy something, you want to pay your car insurance, you want to pay exams and so on, there's absolutely no problem. But for example, flexi loan is more like people renovating the house. You have to pay different people. So, those are key purposes. Obviously, we are quite flexible. I'm just mentioning some of the possibilities. For the borrower, obviously, as I mentioned, there is a very robust process that goes on, which, as you can see, the process of 7 steps. Obviously, I won't go into the detail of it, but number one being the loan application. So basically, you need to have the proof of identity, proof of address, your proof of income. Proof of income is basically a certificate of emolument, a salary slip, and also the financial footprint. For example, a bank statement. Bank statement that's required typically for last 6 months. Obviously we have access, FinClub have access to the MCIB, so we are able to look at customer profile report. So we do look at those elements, including the financial repayment capability, looking at bank statement, but also looking at FSC, AML, CFT policies, procedures, and so on. Next would be the credit underwriting that's done through FinScore, and as mentioned, an automated machine learning algorithm that has been developed in-house, very customized to the requirement in the Mauritian context. And that process then goes to the credit committee that give it final assent, whether the loan is approved or not. Once that's done, we call the person. So for the borrower, we still have to do a physical citing. So we call the person for verification of the document, signature of standing orders, because we only deal through the bank. So all payments and EMI repayments basically are done through the bank. The loan is posted initially for a period of 30 days, but we've seen that a lot of our own loans get funded well before that period. And finally, once the amount is raised, basically what we do is to have that the signature of the contract, which is digital, so through OTP. And once all these procedures are completed, the money is transferred to your bank account. As I mentioned, that money is raised directly through lenders. And that's why we are able to pay high and very competitive interest to our lenders, to our investors. And obviously, it's a new asset class. It's another way of investing. And the big advantage also for investing on peer-to-peer lending platform basically is the possibility that once you have invested, let's assume for argument's sake that you have invested 10,000 rupees on one loan, and let's assume you'll get 2,000 rupees as interest for that loan over a 12-month period. So basically what's happening is you get the capital and interest of 1,000 rupees every month. So that's what we call by regular monthly income. So you are not really waiting until the full loan tenure is complete for you to start getting back your money. Okay, so that's critical and that's very important. When you are investing on the FinClub platform, the money goes to credit-worthy borrowers, as I mentioned to you a little bit, but we are going to discuss it more in detail. But the advantage is you can diversify your investment. Imagine, for example, you're investing 100,000 rupees. You don't have to invest, and actually you cannot invest that on one loan. So you are able to invest on different loan, different amount, different period, different tenor, and obviously different risk categories so that you are basically building a portfolio. And as I mentioned, you are talking about short-term investment. Short-term investment, you can lend 10,000 rupees on a loan of 3 months. That's a unique opportunity. You cannot get, such an option is quite limited elsewhere. And this is a big advantage of lending on FinClub peer-to-peer lending platform. But ultimately, bear in mind that you are giving money to people who badly need the money, probably for health, a health intervention, a medical intervention, for paying for education, renovating house, and so on, which typically these people might have difficulty in getting access to those finances. So as a lender, basically, it's a four-step process. Registration, joining the lending community. We go through the approval and investment process. Actually, the approval now, we are able to do it online, so you do not have to physically come to our office for lenders to be approved. Once you have all your documents, the KYC document, which basically means ID card or passport, proof of address, your proof for the bank. For example, you just need the top part of your bank statement to just make sure that all the transaction is going through the bank. So the process is quite quick, and obviously the disbursement and repayment of whatever you have invested is through your bank account. So it's an automated process, and you do not really have to really waste your time. You just concentrate on more important things, enjoy life, and the platform does the rest for you. Just making a few notes. Right. So that full process, and obviously, the obvious question that we get asked is, what if I'm investing, I put 100,000 rupees on your platform and the borrower ran away with my 100,000 rupees? That, I would say, is quite unlikely. Actually, it's very unlikely. There are several reasons for that. Number one, you can only invest a maximum of 20,000 rupees per loan, either 20% or 20,000 rupees per loan. So even if, for example, our maximum loan amount is 100,000 rupees, you will not be able to invest 100,000 rupees on one loan. The platform simply would not allow you that. Maximum is 20,000. Number two, the borrower goes through a very robust underwriting process. As mentioned, we are developing, we keep on improving FinScore, which is a machine learning, ML-driven underwriting process that expedite the process. We look at a lot of parameters, and I will have the opportunity of explaining a little bit more to you about this. And we also encourage people to build a portfolio. So this means that you are spreading your risk. You are spreading it on different loans, different risk categories, different period, and obviously we are going to show you a little bit more in detail how that can do. And the whole process, it's automated. So you can, for example, use the auto investment module that we have on the platform to make your investment done automatically. And the back end here at FinClub, we also have a procedure for the recovery, sending, excuse me, sending SMS and email directly, platform triggered, and then followed up by letters and so on. So that is it's a very automated process that goes through, and people are obviously able to you can track your investment on the platform. If there are lateness, the dashboard obviously shows you that. Now, I was talking about FinScore and why through the process that we have developed, the chances of default, we are not saying it's impossible to default, and we do not say that the default rate is obviously like inexistent. There are chances, it's an investment. Whenever there are investment, there are possibilities of having recovery problems, but it is important that that investors know that we are developing and we keep improving FinScore, which is our automated credit underwriting process. And basically, fundamentally, if it works on the same principle that if you, as an individual, you are giving money to someone first, what would you ask? There are kind of three sets of factors, that you would ask. First, being the capacity of the person to repay back a loan. For example, obviously, you would not lend somebody 100,000 rupees to pay back in 6 months if the person is only earning 10,000 rupees. So that. And the financial capacity, this is a model that most financial institutions, banks, and so on use. For example, we are using the FICO model, and a lot of that information is obtained through client information, through financial parameters like having access to the MCIB, the Bank of Mauritius MCIB report, the bank statement, and so on. The second set of factors that we will look is the stability of the person. Let me take you an example. Previously, the tourism sector was viewed as a very stable and sector, and lending money to people employed in the tourism sector was viewed as quite secure. But then we had COVID, and the tourism sector was decimated for almost a couple of years. So that shows you the vulnerability of sectors. So basically, this set of parameters, these factors are looking at the stability of the income stream, whether the person is working in a sector that might have vulnerabilities. It might also be that we are looking at, for example, such parameters with whether, for example, the person is working in government, is married, is the owner of his or her own house, these kind of things. And thirdly, you can have money, you can have the stability, but it is also important to look at the behavioral aspect. That is to say, the willingness for someone to pay back a loan. Okay, willingness to pay back a loan. So basically, we are looking at behavioral parameters, specifically from historical tendencies. Even, for example, the MCIB report would show that the person has missed payment, but not just that. We also, for example, look at social media behaviors and other parameters. And that, as you can see, these parameters basically, all in all, we have something like 48 subparameters that we are collecting information, and that from about 275, almost 300 data points. So basically, you can see it's really robust. We are looking at a lot of parameters, and as we proceed, as we are getting more data, as the system is collecting more information, because it's a machine learning tool, ML tool, so there are continuous improvement that's being undertaken. Now, as lender, we were saying that how you can minimize your risk, how you mitigate the risk, and how you are going to optimize your return. We also told you that, for example, on our platform, you can earn interest at something like 12%. But bear in mind that when we are talking about 12% interest, it is based on a reducing balance. So for example, remember the earlier case we took the example of 10,000 rupees. So if you have lent 10,000 rupees, and after the first month, at the end of the first month, the person has repaid 1,000 rupees. So the interest chargeable on the second month is 9,000 rupees. And on the third month, you deduct 1,000 rupees that has been paid, it becomes 8,000 rupees, and so on and so forth. So it's a reducing balance. So therefore, we were saying that it is important that you build a portfolio. For example, imagine you have 100,000 rupees that you are looking to invest on the platform. Now, you can spread that money. For example, you say, okay, what I'll do is I'll invest on 10,000 rupees on one loan of A+, 25,000 rupees on two loans of A, that is to say 12,500, and so on and so forth, as you can see. So basically, this is what we're saying in terms of mitigating. You're spreading the risk on different loan categories. Remember that you can also spread the risk in terms of, for example, the tenor. So you can invest on some of the loan, which are like 3 months. You can also invest the other extremity at the moment, for example, 24 months. So you have quick return, but at the same time, longer term return stability. So you have the flexibility of choosing where you are investing, on which loan you are investing. It's not, again, that you give us the money and we are investing for you. No, and that's why we also have regular lender meetup that we organize here at our premises in Eben, because we want to educate our lenders, to train our lenders on how to optimize your investment and how you can maximize. So you can see from this, if you have invested like on a portfolio that I just mentioned, with 100,000 rupees, your return after 12 months is 5,540 rupees. Okay, 5,540, which makes you a return of 5.54. All right, Aster, maybe some people say, hey, I would like to get more. But that's the beauty of peer-to-peer lending platform. Because as this table shows you, that on your investment of 100,000 rupees, after the first month, as you can see, on month one, basically you are earning 8,000. At the end of the first month, you are earning 8,798 rupees. Okay. Second month, you are earning 8,795 rupees. So basically, at the end of the second month, you have 17,590 rupees on hand. Next, the third month is 26,384, and so on and so forth. Okay, but that's money that you have on hand, and therefore it's money that you can reinvest. And this is where you can maximize your investment. You know, how you can churn out, reinvest, compounding your investment. And as you can see on this table, we've tried to, it is a little bit complex, but at the same time, we have tried to make it as simple as possible. You can see that the investment that you are making, when it is reinvested, so 8,795 rupees, when it is reinvested after month one, okay, so during the second month, you are now earning another 774 rupees. Okay, so if you do that, you can see the accumulated amount. So ultimately, based on the conservative portfolio that we created, as we mentioned here, okay, you see that now your return is 113,954 rupees. That is to say, a return on investment of 13.95. Okay, 13.95%. So it is obvious. Now, again, I stress this is on a conservative portfolio, but then you can decide to be more aggressive depending on your risk appetite, depending on how you would like to proceed and how you can go through the process and so on. So in summary, the investment, the portfolio that you created with 100,000 rupees over a 12-month period will yield something like 13.59% of return. And that process of reinvesting obviously becomes more and more interesting. We were also talking about, for example, the repayment tracking process, which is important. Don't forget that this business is not just a lending business, okay? Peer-to-peer, and any loan, any organization, any institution giving loans is not just lending. It is also a recovery process, and that's, we have attached a lot of importance to that issue. So we already have an established process of what happened before, I'd say 2 days before the amount is due. If the person hasn't paid 1 day after, 3 days, 5 days, and so on and so forth. Okay, so right. So there are different processes that's already as email SMSs, then followed, you know, after if 7 days, the process then becomes a little bit more contacting through phone call the person, sending letters, and even eventually, for example, here we are talking about visits to borrower, so people who haven't paid. Fortunately, on our platform at the moment, we have nobody who owes, who is like, for example, 60 days overview. Forget about 90 days overview, even 60 days overdue payment. We do not have any of that at the moment. Now, also don't forget that we have got to make returns to both the FSC and the Bank of Mauritius, which means that if someone is late, that's reported to the Bank of Mauritius, and obviously it is shown on the MCIB report, the credit profile report of the customer. And there is a sense of solidarity in a certain way among financial institutions. So for example, if we see that somebody is late or has got a problem with payment behaviors and so on, we would be very reluctant to give loans to that person, or unless the person has settled with the previous lending institution. Obviously, if that's happened also, for example, if more than 90 days, then obviously the matter is a reference. So it's the transfer to attorney, and our attorney obviously follow the matter and start the process as well. As mentioned through the personal email, the messages, feel free you can WhatsApp any question that you may have. Our WhatsApp number is 5255-7400. I repeat, 5255-7400. And you can obviously also call the operation team through the number, which is 468-7400. Okay, 468-7400. Because also it's a very interesting concept, and the government is really promoting that concept in Mauritius, making it attractive for people to have access, alternative access to finance. There are now a lot of incentive. For example, you can earn tax benefits for people who have invested through a peer-to-peer lending platform. For example, whatever you earn in terms of interest, and the first 80% is exempted, and then you pay only 15% on the remaining 20%. So effectively, if you are investing, if, for example, you get 100,000 rupees as interest, I precise very clearly, if you get 100,000 rupees as interest on peer-to-peer lending platform, actually you are only paying 3% interest on the whole amount. Okay, and for example, if it does happen that you've lost money because of someone hasn't paid the loan and so on, you will be able to reclaim that amount through your tax benefit so it can be deducted from the interest received through peer-to-peer lending platform. Okay. So how is the situation so far? As you can see, we started with a very soft launch back in December of 2021, but the real launch of FinClub was as from April 2022. And the platform has been gaining traction. At the moment, we are we have about loans of about 2.4, 2.5, and slowly growing up. We think that with the progress that's being made, very soon we will reach the monthly target of about 5 million, and hopefully sometimes toward the end of this year or beginning next year, we may even have we've set ourselves a target of about something between 7 to 10 million rupees of loan every month. And as you can also see, the process, the amount of application, for example, in August, 404 applications for a total amount requested of 27.6 million. Donc, il y a l'engouement, and therefore, people are increasingly applying for loans. As you might have seen, the number of loans posted in the platform is going up. And the great thing about everything at the moment is, for example, bear in mind that it is also people need to have some patience. Some people get their salary a few days late, or maybe even a fortnight late. So we have to make abstraction to that. But if you look at repayment of more than 30 days, in that respect, there is absolutely no default, so it's 0% default at the moment. And again, the great thing is, for example, in terms of loan application, even if, for example, the number of people, for example, 36% of female are applying for loans, only 30, it's about only a third of our applicants are female. But in terms of loan approval, it's about 46%. And even that's going up, almost so half of all the loans that we are giving is now taken by ladies. And as you can see and mentioned earlier on, default rate, be it for men or ladies, is 0. Obviously, we are a regulated organization, as I mentioned. Initially, we got through an RSL license through EDB. We work with the Mauritius Research and Innovation Council, given that we are really a very innovative organization, company. And obviously, we are regulated by the Financial Services Commission. And obviously, we are a member of the Mauritius Africa FinTech Hub, Empretech Mauritius. We work with the Global Entrepreneurship Network Mauritius, but also we are part of the larger regional or even international community like the African Business Angel Network, AfriLab, which we are a member. We are also a member of the African Crowdfunding Association. Voilà. Very quickly, now we have a team of about almost 20 people full-time, plus quite a few part-time as well. So it is kind of, gaining traction, building. It is a long process, a lot of education is required, but we think that, the traction is there. The organization is driven by a lot of competent people with more than 75 years of banking experience, more than 90 years of experience working in the business, local business ecosystem, be it informal workers, informal businesses, SMEs, corporate, and so on. And obviously, we have got experiences working in more than 35 countries, including 20 of them being in Africa. Voilà. So I have reached the stage where I will stop talking, and basically we will start taking some of the question that has been posted either through WhatsApp. Again, I remind you the question, the number 5255-7400, 5255-7400. And also, you are through the chat platform, you are able to kind of apply. You can ask your question and so on. Okay. So, how does the loan application process work? As I had a slide earlier on, where is it? Here it is. Basically, I think it's important to understand, and we have that question, and it's human, and it's quite normal. FinClub is a digital-only platform, so your application has to be online. If you call us, we obviously are very glad. We will be glad to help you through the process, but unfortunately, we will only be able to, excuse me, process your application if and only if your application has been made on the platform. So bear that in mind. Now, if you have difficulty, whether you are not getting OTP or you don't know how the process is working, or you have any issues, bear in mind that we almost have like 10,000 people who have registered on the platform. So the platform works. It is working. It is efficient. It works. Actually, to register as a lender at the moment, I think the record is about 2 minutes, 10 seconds. So, as a lender, in less than 3 minutes, less than actually 2.5 minutes, you are able to not only enter all your information, but also upload all your documents. Excuse me. For the loan application process for borrowers, obviously the process is a little bit longer. So you have to first apply online. If you have difficulty, please call my colleagues on 468-7400, or even send a message on WhatsApp. This number, 5255-7400, is only to receive messages. No call, please. If you want to call, the number is 468-7400. So as you can see, the application is done online. Once we have received the full application, we verify the document online. We request the MCIB report. We request the bank statements. We obviously then go through the FinScore underwriting process. The credit committee obviously make a final judgment on that. And again, I have to say, even those processes of credit committee and physical verification is now getting streamlined, and we are even moving in a phase where eventually all these processes will go online, but we are not quite there. Signatures are done online, and therefore you are able to kind of have your digital signature, loan are posted online, and then obviously once the amount is raised on the platform, investors have already invested, you will be notified and digitally requested to sign the contract, and then the final disbursement is made online. Okay. Your return will depend on loan and so on. As I mentioned previously, our loan tenor varies between 3 months to 24 months. So basically, you can choose in whatever loan you would like to invest. Remember that I see a question also coming saying that how long. Typically, once the process is approved, the loan is posted on the platform. It stays on the platform for 30 days. And then obviously it's the choice of the lenders to decide how, where, and which type of loan you would like to invest. Let me check again. If I invest, what will be my benefit? If I invest 10,000 rupees, what will be my benefit? If I invest 10,000 rupees, what will be my benefit? Again, it all depends how you are investing it. Okay, you can, for example, invest instead of investing 10,000 rupees on one loan, you can invest. Obviously, that's possible, but you can invest 1,000 rupees on 10 loans. This is, as we mentioned, the process of investing. You choose which loan you want, and this is building a portfolio to mitigate the risk. So you can have either one investment of 10,000 rupees, or you can have 10 investment of 1,000 rupees. The second point is also you can decide, for example, do I invest on a loan that's 3 months, of a tenor of 3 months, a duration of 3 months, or do I invest it on 24 months? Obviously, on 24 months, you have a continuous return over 24 months, the interest of 8 over 20 months, but for 3 months, you have your money invested and returned to you quicker. Now, I see also another question, what is the minimum and the maximum amount I can lend? Now, on FinClub platform, the minimum amount you need to open an account, well, the account opening as a lender, opening an account is free. There's absolutely nothing to pay. Okay, so for example, some people open the account and then wait for a couple of days to decide because they want to check out. So that's fine by us. So you don't have anything to pay when you open an account. Now, when you start investing, the minimum amount you have to transfer, on our account, bank account, is 5,000 rupees. Okay. that's the minimum amount you have to transfer to become an accredited lender on our platform. And then when you start investing on loans, there you have a choice. You can invest, anything between 1,000 rupees, 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, whatever you want. Okay. Now, as an individual, and that's a restriction imposed to us by the Financial Services Commission, the FSC, you, as an individual, you can invest a maximum of 1.5 million rupees over any 12 months. So basically, the maximum amount, the minimum amount to open an account is 5,000 rupees. The minimum amount to invest on one loan is 1,000 rupees. By the way, I also would like to take the opportunity this evening on MBC1, we've got Éclairage économique. Okay, Éclairage économique on MBC1 at 20:15 on Channel 1, 20h15. Éclairage économique, MBC1 à 20h15, which is, this specific episode is dedicated to emergence of peer-to-peer lending in Mauritius, what are the players, the actors, and how to invest in the platform. So please do watch it. It's MBC1 ce soir, 20h15. How is FinClub mitigating its risk? As we said, basically, when you transfer the money, when you are investing, okay, when you are investing, it's up to you to decide how you are investing. So whether you want a very conservative portfolio, you want to build a very conservative portfolio, or you want to build a medium level portfolio, or you want to build an aggressive portfolio. Okay, so I think we had this slide that we showed earlier on mitigating our risk and how to build that. Obviously, at FinClub, we're also organizing quite a few meetups, with our lenders to train people, to educate people how to mitigate risk, how the platform works. The great thing about our platform is everything is online. And once you are registered and approved, you have access to a lot of dashboard. You can see how your loans are performing, what are the returns, even the contract that you have signed, it's online. So you do not really have to make a copy. I mean, if you want to make a copy, you're most welcome, but you don't have to make copies or whatever, because the information, the document is stored online. Obviously, it's a very robust platform. We have all our, in terms of whether the information security, data protection issues, but also operational procedures, the IT infra. Our platform is not hosted in our offices, it's hosted elsewhere in a very secure environment. And then there is a backup, there is a data recovery process, there is a business continuity policy process that has been put in place. And therefore, we are also looking at all aspects of how to ensure continuity of business and protection of data. So I see a lot of people saying, I need a loan. With pleasure, please do apply. Start the process today. You have to go on our platform, which is finclub.mu, finclub.mu, finclub.mu. It's online. You will be called upon to register your name, give your identity details, you need to have an email address, and obviously you need to have a mobile. We send you OTP to verify those information. Okay, we verify those information, and once the process has been checked, and we are sure that all the various credentials and policies, as well AML, CFT procedures are followed, you can obviously start either borrowing or lending. As I mentioned to you, so far we already have about 10,000 people who have applied for loan. Okay. As a lending institution, I would ask my colleague to put this table, this slide. As you can see, the loan approval process, for example, in August, we had 404 applications, and we approve only 35, which is less than 10%. Okay, so it's not because we are online that all the loan will be approved. It's not because we are online that we are not checking. It's not because we are online that we are not ensuring that lenders' money are kept secure and safely to the maximum extent invested. Okay, look, as you can see, the process is robust. So far, we have approved 151 loans for a total amount of 9,699,500 rupees. And obviously, being a regulated company, we have to make intermittent return to both the FSC and the Bank of Mauritius. For example, to the Bank of Mauritius, we have to make our return every 15 days. Okay, every 15 days to the MCIB department of the Bank of Mauritius. Now, we understand some of the frustration people go through if their loan are rejected and so on. Loan might be rejected because the person doesn't have the capacity to repay back a loan, the financial capacity. Or it may be rejected because we do not have proven emolument, proven income for that person. For example, if someone has got very, someone has got very, let's say this month you get 15,000, then for the next 3 months you don't get any return, it doesn't show on your bank account, obviously we cannot take the risk, loans are not necessarily approved. If, for example, also people have not loaded all the documents, we cannot process the loan. So please make sure that all the documents are correctly loaded, uploaded on the platform to facilitate our job so that we can facilitate your job. Okay. So voila, I see there are no more questions. So thank you very much to all of you who have been listening to this webinar. I repeat, the WhatsApp number is 52557400. So please send your message. If you're looking for a loan, my colleague will revert back to you, will call you back or reply through calls. Or you can also give a call on 468-7400, 464-7400. If you are serious about a loan, please make sure that you complete the full process, provide all the information, and definitely our business is to help you out. Our business is to provide loan to ensure that investors, lenders are securely investing their money with you. And therefore, we are here for that. You can obviously call us and get whatever information that you require for us. So allow me again to thank everyone who followed us. Obviously, I see that we are overwhelmed with a lot of messages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on this various social media platform. We are on TikTok, we are also on Instagram. So maybe you have to bear with us if we take a few hours to revert back to you, but please note that we will revert back, and thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again.